We live in a world where fame is no longer a distant fantasy. It's on our phones, in our feeds, and just one viral moment away. Celebrities are more accessible than ever before, sharing their meals, heartbreaks, and behind-the-scenes lives online. But what happens when that access turns dangerous? What happens when admiration turns into obsession? The line between fan and stalker, between admiration and entitlement, has never been thinner. And more often, fans are crossing it. Welcome to the dark side of fame, where the spotlight attracts not only love, but danger. The double-edged sword of fame. Fame today is both a blessing and a curse. It offers wealth, influence, and an audience that hangs on your every word. But it also comes with a cost: privacy, safety, and the freedom to exist without being watched. In the golden age of Hollywood, stars were untouchable gods, protected by studios and publicists. Today, social media has broken down the walls between celebrities and the public. That closeness can be thrilling, but also deeply unsettling. Fans now feel they know celebrities. They follow their lives, watch their stories, comment on their photos, and sometimes believe they're entitled to something more. For some, the illusion of intimacy becomes obsession. And that's when things start to spiral. When parasocial becomes problematic. Parasocial relationships, one-sided emotional connections people form with public figures, are normal. We all feel attached to artists, actors, or influencers whose work impacts us. But for a growing number of people, that connection becomes an emotional dependency. They think the celebrity is talking directly to them, that they're soulmates, or that they have a secret connection. This delusion, fed by constant access to content, can lead fans to ignore boundaries and insert themselves into a star's life. Messages become demands, applause becomes control, and love turns into entitlement. The fan no longer respects the celebrity as a person, they treat them as a possession. The terrifying reality of celebrity stalking. Many celebrities live in fear, not of their critics, but of their most obsessive fans. From home invasions to threats of violence, stalking is a harsh and terrifying reality for those in the spotlight. Take Taylor Swift. Over the years, she's faced multiple stalkers who have broken into her homes, sent disturbing letters, and tracked her movements. One man was found sleeping in her bed. Another threatened to kill her family. She now travels with heavy security and rarely reveals her exact location. Ariana Grande has been targeted by stalkers even during performances. In 2021, a man with a knife showed up at her Hollywood Hills home after sending death threats. Despite restraining orders, he returned again. Even the late Selena, the beloved Tejano singer, was killed by the president of her own fan club, someone she trusted. These aren't rare cases. They're warnings. Proof that fame attracts both devotion and danger. Meet and greets turn nightmares. What starts as a dream interaction can quickly descend into chaos. Meet and greets are designed for connection, but some fans see them as a chance to cross personal boundaries. Celebrities have reported being groped, kissed without consent, or followed after events. Billie Eilish, known for her close connection with fans, once opened up about feeling violated by those who ignored her request for space. Shawn Mendes has had fans sneak into hotel rooms. Lady Gaga once had someone try to crawl into her limousine through the window. Harry Styles, while performing, has had objects thrown at him, including dangerous ones. These aren't harmless accidents. They're symptoms of a fan culture that confuses love with ownership. Online harassment is just as real and just as damaging. Physical boundaries aren't the only lines being crossed. Online harassment has become one of the most common and most painful ways fans attack celebrities. Doja Cat famously quit social media multiple times due to fans constantly scrutinizing her looks, relationships, and behavior. Lizzo, known for her confidence, has broken down in tears on live streams from the weight of constant judgment. Selena Gomez has said fan culture online made her feel like a product instead of a person. And then there's K-pop, a fandom both deeply supportive and sometimes intensely toxic. If idols date, change their image, or take a break, they risk being bombarded by hate from their own fans. Doxing, death threats, and boycotts are not uncommon. In a world where likes and retweets are currency, some fans treat online attacks like games, forgetting that real people live on the other side of the screen. Celebrity families are not off-limits anymore. Perhaps the cruelest aspect of fan obsession is how it spills over onto celebrity families, especially their children. Beyoncé and Jay-Z go to great lengths to protect their children from paparazzi and social media. But even Blue Ivy has faced cruel online comments since she was a toddler. Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik have publicly begged paparazzi not to photograph their daughter. Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard started an entire movement called #NoKidsPolicy, asking media outlets to blur children's faces. Despite their pleas, many fans continue to share, tag, and speculate about the lives of celebrity kids, as if they're characters in a show instead of vulnerable humans. The line doesn't just get crossed, it gets erased. Obsession disguised as devotion. Some of the worst behavior is masked as love. Fans believe they're protecting celebrities by attacking people they date or work with. They claim to support them by criticizing every move they make. They flood them with messages, not realizing that a barrage of praise can be just as overwhelming as hate. Britney Spears fans once launched a movement to save her, but many later crossed boundaries by invading her private life, sharing conspiracies, and even causing legal issues during her conservatorship battle. When fans turn into watchdogs, they forget the very person they claim to love. Their obsession becomes a prison for the star. When fan fiction becomes dangerous, fan fiction is usually harmless, a creative outlet. But in some cases, it crosses into disturbing territory. Some fans write explicit or romantic stories about real celebrities, pairing them with other stars or even with themselves. While creative expression is valid, it becomes dangerous when fans blur the line between fiction and reality. Jungkook from BTS once said that extreme fan fiction made him uncomfortable and violated his privacy. Other celebrities have spoken out against shipping, forcing romantic narratives between real people when it interferes with their actual relationships or friendships. It may seem like fantasy, but to the celebrities involved, it can feel invasive, exploitative, and dehumanizing. Fame is not consent. One of the biggest misconceptions fans have is that fame equals permission. That being a celebrity means you owe your audience access, time, and attention. But that's not how it works. Being famous doesn't mean you lose your right to privacy. It doesn't mean you have to smile for every photo, reply to every message, or accept every hug. It doesn't mean you exist to be consumed. Zendaya once said, "Fame is weird. People act like they own you." She's right. Fame is a job, a public role. But behind the lights and filters is a human being with boundaries that deserve respect. Because no matter how famous someone is, no matter how many followers they have, they deserve the same thing we all do: dignity, privacy, and peace. If this story opened your eyes to the fine line between fan and obsession, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a thoughtful comment, and subscribe for more content that looks beyond the headlines and into the real lives behind the fame. Because loving a celebrity shouldn't mean forgetting they're human too.